Shalom, shalom to the 144,000, the elect. Before I get started, let me give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash, double honor to the apostle nails of great millstone. Peace and blessing to the brothers that are preaching the truth in the four winds of the earth. May Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, have mercy upon you. Alright, for those of you over that are new, when you hear me say Yahweh, that's the true name of the Heavenly Father who everyone just called God. It means He is or He exists. You hear me say Yahweh Shai, but Bahashem is in the name, but Yahweh Shai means what? He saves. He delivers. Salvation. Savior. If you wanted to be saved during this time here, over here in Babylon, which is America, guess what? You're going to have to be part of the elect. The elect. Preach it and say it in every video. The elect, the elect, the elect. The world will not be, America will not go past, I don't know the year or where they're going to go past. No one knows that, including the sun. So, but the sun do sit on the left side of the Heavenly Father at this present moment, right? So I can't say what he knows. But I'm just reading the scriptures, because we read the scriptures as is. Right? And you prophesy what? As the scriptures say. No bending or folding the scriptures for anyone. No female, no mother, no sister, no niece, no uncle, no father. We don't bend the scripture for no one. Preach the gospel, the true gospel, what Yahweh Shai died for. Right? So let's hear this video out. It says, I'm on this brother page named Jay Reed. I like the content he had here. Jay Reed, I'm not receiving any monetary funds for my videos. My videos is for edification purpose only. To who? The elect. Right? So Trump makes segregation legal. Trump makes segregation legal in federal contracts. The world reacts. And then at the top above his head, he says segregation no longer banned in government contracts as Trump rips up 60-year-old order. It ain't 60. That's 1968. That's not 60 years ago. That's not 60 years ago. He said 60-year-old order. See, these people get it wrong a lot. I don't know great details concerning this segregation law. I just heard them speaking about it, and all these people, one thing they do, these people get online, they go talking and running their mouth. You never know what's going to happen until it happens. But let me look this up right quick, though. Right? Let's see what this is here. Let's Google, y'all. What is the purpose of segregation facilities? Let's see. I'm just reading, y'all. Just reading the thing what I see on Google. What does segregation facilities mean? Well, we basically know it. Let's just read that portion of it. Segregated facilities means what? Any waiting rooms, work areas, restrooms and washrooms, restaurants and other eating areas, time clocks, locker rooms and other storage or dressing areas, parking lots, drinking fountains, recreation and entertainment area, transportation, and housing facility provided for employees. That's what that say now. Okay, let's go to this here. 52.222 prohibited of what? I don't want to read that, man. Why were... No, I don't want to read that either. What is... You know what? Let me ask Google another question, y'all. What did Trump do with this segregation law of 1968? Let's see, y'all. Let's see if we can get some truth out of here. It enforces long standing federal statutes and for fit. Let's see. No. What did the Civil Rights Law of 1960? Like I said, in 68. So this guy says 60-year-old law. It's right there, but it's not 60 yet. The 1968 Act expanded on what previous act of prohibited discrimination concerning the sale, rental, and financing of housing based on race, religion, national origin, sex, and amended. Hey man, but what the hell really changed? That we don't drink out we drink out the same fountains? Because so-called white people, they still get they're like a so-called black person. The average black person gets to buy a home, and gonna be between 6 and 8%. The average white person buy a home is gonna be between what, 2 and 4%. Right? So hey, and they segregate us. You know, most of us was in what? In projects, housing, ghettos. So I mean, hell, the segregation still continues. If you really ask me, this so-called act of Civil Rights Act of 1968, it didn't do anything, for real, right? Because you know these things are now everything is what, it's like a hidden. It was a hidden agenda, like we have always had what, some form of equal rights, and we never did, for real. Never did, especially a so-called black man, right? Never did. Eve. You know, y'all run around. See, Eve has a reason. When I say Eve, I'm talking about the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives of this land, but mainly you so-called black women. The reason I say that Eve, she has a reason to shout, right, and to be upset, because Eve is receiving monetary funding from state, federal, and you name it. Hospital had to pay to go see the doctor, dental bills, anything. So, you know, you all women as a whole, not race now, not talking about a race. I'm just using the term that you all use, race, because we as Israelites, we are what? We don't go by race. We use what? Nationality. A seed line or what? Anyway, but the race portion of what they screaming about, segregation, no longer banned in government contracts as Trump rips up 60-year-old order. So let's just hear it out. I might cut through here and there. I'm gonna hit the precepts in the end. I'm gonna try to get through what I can get through, but I might hit a precept in the middle of it. So let's hear it out.
Segregation is now back on the table for the American government, and we have Donald Trump to thank for it. You heard me right. Thanks to Donald Trump, segregation is now no longer banned in the federal government. More specifically, government contractors are no longer banned from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. Yeah, thanks to Donald Trump, now government contractors can have shit like this again. And what was Donald Trump's logic behind this asinine decision? Well, he's tackling DEI, of course. Donald Trump is bringing back segregation in order to supposedly combat DEI. I wish I was making this shit up. I wish I was making up all of the insane shit that Donald Trump says and does. But unfortunately, this is just our fucked up reality now, and until somebody does something about Donald Trump, I'm afraid there won't be an end to the madness anytime soon.
So Donald Trump just brought back segregation. Yes, I'm saying that. He just brought back segregation. Segregation on bathrooms, on restaurants, on who to hire. That is part of removing DEI. Okay? Let's do it. Bring back segregation. I want to know where the fuck I'm not welcome. I want to know where my money does not deserve to be put at. Because let's make this very fucking clear. Black people in America are the buying power. Y'all forget we buy more than anybody else. I don't know why we do that shit, but we do. So let us know where the fuck we aren't welcome. Bring back segregation. I guarantee y'all gonna fuck up all y'all money. Because white folks don't shop like that. And when they do, they don't spend in middle class areas. It's the rich shit like Gucci and Prada. Not everyday hometowns. Go ahead and fuck yourselves up. Bring segregation back. Yup. Bring it on back. Let's see how this shit rides. You see what's going on with Target.
Well, MAGA.
She need to get that shit out of her nose. Anyway, I looked up, I googled, did Trump end segregation? And this is what pulled up. It said the Trump administration has announced the federal government will no longer unequivocally prohibit contractors from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. Why it matters, the change announced last month in an overlooked public memo is a symbolic move first reported by NPR and comes after President Trump revoked President Lyndon Johnson's decades-old order diversity in affirmative action practices in federal government. The big picture, here's the big picture. The big picture is the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Now that's over 60 years. 1964, as well as many state law, still makes segregated facilities illegal in all businesses, including federal contractors. Yeah, it's always a brush. Okay, yes, but critics say the recent change sends a message about the government priorities and potentially eliminates a crucial enforcement tool. Listen, man. The only thing that these people is getting ready for, man, is to take your shit, meaning your homes, whatever you own, especially your home, they take a while because they're trying to create these 15-minute cities. Why you think we then went from the west, the south, the west, then out east, now they coming down deep south to do what? With all these, if it ain't a fire, it's a storm. If it ain't a storm, it's water, flooding. What are they doing? Taking homes. So this is what they're doing. 15-minute cities to what? This is the purpose of what? Their agenda, which is the New World Order. What's go hand in hand with the New World Order? The MOTB. And the MOTB, for those of you who don't know, is the mark of the beast. Which is what? It's the chip. So let's read this. Yes, but critics say the recent change sends a message about what the government priorities and potentially eliminates a crucial enforcement tool. The change follows the Trump administration reinterpretation of civil rights era law to focus on anti-white racism rather than discrimination against people of color. Zoom in, a public memo the General Service Administration issued said that change was needed after Trump revoked Lyndon B. Johnson's 60-year-old executive order requiring federal contractors to refrain from employment discrimination. Now, for those of you all not paying attention, Trump trying to dismantle the Department of Education. What does that mean? Because truthfully, the Department of Education, if he just dismantles that, then no one owes what? I know everybody got loans, the old loans, especially women. While they run around here screaming, talking about this and that, and Trump doing it and Trump doing that. It's a lot going on, man. Trump gets ceasefire, then he turn around and threaten who? Iran. And we know that Iran. Well, I can't say what we know. I'm telling you what I know. What I read and what's taking place is that he did the ceasefire portion between Russia and what that fool name is and Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine president, right? But and turn around right around and threaten Iran. Now, for those of you that don't know, Iran and Putin, Russia, has what? They work hand in hand, just as America working hand in hand with their ally, which is who? Israel, right? Jerusalem, the small hatters. And what did they do a few days ago? They bombed the people. These devils do not. I don't give a damn how many hands they shake, how many pieces of paper they sign. These devils gonna always break their agreement with other countries. So know that. Let's see something. I'm gonna read a little more of this here. The memo stated that when issuing new solicitation or contracts, agencies could no longer include the clause about the prohibition of what segregated facilities far defined. But like that woman's that she may look stupid, that old ring and stuff hanging out her nose, but she knew what she was talking about. One thing they don't want to do, they don't want to segregate her, because like you say, we the buying power. But at this present moment, that won't matter either. You want to know why it won't matter? Because in a minute, your what you call money, what you use to buy things, is gonna be what scattered in the streets in a minute. Yeah, you're gonna need. Let me see, Revelation 13, chapter 13, and verses 16 and 17. Where 16 about to come to light, and most people are not aware of it, because most of these brothers, they are not what? They're not blowing the horn. They're not blowing the horn concerning the truth concerning Revelation 13 and 16 concerning the excuse me, concerning, and he said cause all both what? Small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to what? To receive a mark in their what? In their hand, or in their forehead, but most likely gonna be what? In their right hand. Because most of the world are what? Are right-handed. But guess what? Either hand does not matter. But once you Israelites choose Esau Edom's New World Order, and take that, you know what, the MOTB, what's gonna happen? Ain't no repenting from that point. You just be waiting on what? To be what? Destroyed. With that, by what? By fire. Okay, let's go here. The Department of Homeland Security and the National Institute of Health, for what example, have issued notices not to consider the segregation clause in the future. What they are saying, as our nation unfortunately becomes more divided and polarized. You know what? You know, the scriptures speak about what that is, 2 Ezra 15, concerning, what did he say? He said our nation unfortunately becomes more divided and polarized. The last we need is what? Any effort that could be what? Perceived as allowing racial segregation. Ibrahim Hooper of the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAR, said in the statement, and that goes in that what that is. I think it's verse 15. Second is 15 and verse 15 concerning, for the sword and their destruction draw near, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. This is what they're doing. They want to start what? A race war, and then when chaos and hell is in the streets, what happens? Huh? Martial law. Then you get, what come with martial law? Sedition. rebelling against one another. Against when I say rebelling against the people that are in charge concerning their kings and their princes. The scriptures say kings and princes, but we uh, know that that's the a term that these kings and princes is modern day your leaders like your presidents and your governors and your mayors, and these people are what go again. It goes into rebels. Let me see, rebel. I'm sorry about sedition. But I'm trying to read this here. Let me read this here. I don't want to get confused. Black. You know what? I'm not gonna read any more of this. Let's hear a little more of this here. I done read enough of that on segregation, so y'all here know it. But we won't know. But the hidden agenda is the new world order in the taking of your homes to what? To make people homeless. Because look how many people are homeless. And for those of you all people that around buying these houses and getting these 30-year mortgages, you're not gonna have no time to pay for no house no 30 years. You're just gonna be tricked. They're gonna trick you and give you a low mortgage and say $500, and then you look up 6 months to a year from now, if the place still here, your mortgage gonna be from $500 probably $3,000 or even more. So let's hear a little more.
You got everything you wanted, right? You finally won the war on woke. Trans people can't play sports anymore. The government will only recognize 2 genders now, male and female. The federal employees can't put their pronouns in their email.
Well, hell, it ain't but 2 genders. What you all would rather have? You all would rather have Biden with all this LGBTQ stuff everywhere in the madness. You know the madness that you all went through, or you rather have what Trump got going on, right? I mean, either way, they both work. They both playing their roles and doing what they're supposed to do. So but if I had to pick a damn side, it definitely won't be with a bunch of queers.
Signature anymore. DEI is all but dead. Those elitist, woke, liberal universities are losing all of their federal grants and contracts. Elon Musk is taking his chainsaw to the government and firing half of the federal workforce. Donald Trump is going to bulldoze Gaza and turn it into a beachfront golf resort. People lost their student loan forgiveness. You finally got all those tariffs and the tit-for-tat trade war with our closest allies that you wanted so damn badly.
Oh yeah, and then guess what? What happened? They on a plane, 8 black men on an American Airlines flight. It was 8 black men kicked off from an American Airlines flight for smelling bad. That's what they said, for smelling bad. Now take note that you can look it up. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. 8 black men. None of them know one another. Right? They were sitting from one another, so they were not sitting together. So they know what they're doing. All they're doing is creating incidents to what? To hype up that what? That sedition. People fighting against one another, man. Let me read this scripture, man. This second Ezra, I keep saying it, so let me just quote. Let me just read it. Second Ezra 15 and verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draw near, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, in swords in what? In their hands. For there shall be sedition, meaning people are rebelling against one another, rebelling against among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, meaning the people that is in ruler, that's in authority. In the course, and we see that in the course of their action shall stand in in their power. So people are going to what? They're going to rebel. They're going to rebel against one another, and in the process of rebelling against one another, as this, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, is slow grinding America, man. People are suffering little by little by little by little. As the not even years, as the days and weeks go by, man. A lot has been taking place. And people is losing stuff every week. And people are getting more and more and more and more homeless people. And most of them people that are being homeless is what? It's so-called white people.
Hell, you even got your plastic straws back in the Gulf of America to boot. So, are your lives better now? All that stuff that you were complaining about for the last 4 years, is any of it better? Is your life more affordable? Can you afford groceries, healthcare, childcare, new car, mortgage, rent, insurance? Any of that better? No? It's almost as if trans people weren't the reason your lives were so miserable. Some of you aren't ready to have that conversation yet. Take all the time you need with it.
I need for you to come front and center and please share this video, especially if you're a federal contractor. Clause 52.222-21 of the FAR being the Federal Acquisition Regulation, is titled Prohibition of...
I always remember this here, man. If you want to spread a lot of misinformation, if you want to duck and dodge a lot of misinformation, stop listening to a lot of these women, because all they do is spread a lot of misinformation. They don't have true facts. They just go to reading stuff and not doing good research concerning things, and they don't use common sense, logic. They use feelings and emotions. They hear something, they just go off the wall with it. Then the next woman hear, then she go off the wall with it. And they just go on and on. And the stories get bigger and bigger.
Segregated facilities. And what this states is that the contract agrees that it does not and will not maintain or provide for its employees any segregated facilities at any of its establishments, and it does not and will not permit its employees to perform their services at any location under its control where segregated facilities are maintained. And segregated facilities mean like at work areas, restaurants, bathrooms.
She's not white, y'all. She's a Northern Kingdom. So for those of you all that don't know, she's not a white, so-called white woman. Okay?
Drinking fountains, transportation, housing. And you cannot segregate it based on race, color, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, national origin as well. Now this clause is removed from the FAR. This is a new change due to the Trump regime. So what this heinous government is saying is that this provision, this clause in the FAR will no longer be considered when making award choices or enforce requirements. Now, I think this is very symbolic in nature from Trump's administration, who happens to be an inherently racist administration. And people that are black and brown, I feel like I have to constantly say this, he does not like you. Now, to be clear, these contractors still have to follow federal and state laws, which include Civil Rights Act of 1964. But we already know Trump is actively trying to dismantle that law. When Kamala Harris offered her vision that we're not going back, this is exactly what she was afraid of, that he will bring us back to the 1950s, in which the white people had the power and we were powerless. But they don't know us, right? Because we shall overcome. And once we get over this hump, the MAGAs are not going to like the consequences. I promise you that. You guys have a blessed day.
I just watched a video of somebody saying that they voted for Trump. They already regret it. They didn't know it was going to be this bad. And I'm sitting here going, I'm glad you're here now. I'm glad you made it. But I'm going to need a minute, okay? Because I need to...
They're losing their damn mind, y'all. This is 2nd Esdras 15 and verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. Huh? Look at them. And most of them who are women. They were so comfortable. These women were so comfortable till you couldn't what? You couldn't tell them anything. Walking with their nose up, eating good. Most of them were overweight because why? They getting these government funded, these food stamps. So now that reality has hit, they be online bragging and talking mess online, and Trump sees this, and Trump reacting, and what is he doing? He's taking the power from them. Huh? Think about it, y'all. All the control that they have had. They have been, they have had it for a long, 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 long time, man. And this is Eve followed. I know y'all hate it, but guess what? most of you all got to hear it.
See some very serious work being done. Because what do you mean you didn't see this coming? What do you mean you didn't know it was going to be this bad? You didn't have to listen to us. You just had to listen to him. He said it. He's doing all the things he said he was going to do. And this person said that we are looking forward to voting blue in 2026 and help ushering in the blue wave. I don't know if there's going to be a beach to usher in the blue wave. Like,
I'm about to hear all that crap. Let's get to the next person. Let's see. Who all they performing? Oh Lord, she had long too, y'all. Look at that. Let's get this. Let's get right here. This at the tail end of her mouth.
I will make sure you have food and water, but you are gonna go sit on the other side of the room. I'm gonna need a minute.
What Trump is just another opioid. I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him. There is definitely an element of Donald Trump support that has its basis in racism or xenophobia. Trump is a really bad candidate, and frankly, I think a really bad person. I agree with you on Trump because I don't think he actually cares about folks. I'm going to vote third party because I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place.
You've said I'm a never Trump guy. Never liked him. Terrible candidate. Idiot if you voted for him. Might be America's Hitler. Might be a cynical a-hole. Cultural heroine. Noxious and reprehensible.
The next Vice President of the United States, the current Senator from Ohio, J.D. Vance, and his incredible wife, Usha.
It's time to speak up. They're rolling back segregation. They are rolling back segregation. It is now no longer illegal to require separate facilities for people of different races. It is no longer illegal to say, here's the white water fountain and here's the colored water fountain. To be clear, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is still in place and has not been disbanded. But we know what their goal is. There is always step one in a process, and we absolutely know what their goal is. They are rolling back segregation. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Because this time, white people, we are the ones that are going to be on the front crossing that bridge. Do you hear me? We are the ones that are going to stand in the streets. Our black countrymen have done their time at the front of the lines, and it is our turn. It is our turn to face the water hoses and to face the dogs and to face the tear gas because we have let this happen.
You best believe they put some water hoses on other white people. There's gonna be some guns going off. You can believe that. And again, verse 17, 2nd Esdras 15:17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Verse 19. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. We in those times, y'all. You hear him, don't you? You hear them. All of them crying, and this is the reason why they're crying, because of what? Because their livelihood is being taken from them, right? They'll begin to struggle, something that they have never did before. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. And when everything gets food shortage, water, and all these things get short, what's going to take place? Riots, man. People going to start invading one another. And the portion of that invading one another is what? It's taking each other's goods. A man shall have no pity unto his neighbor, so no pity, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. And the modern day sword today is the gun, right? And shall spoil their what? Their goods, meaning their possessions, because of the lack of what? Bread. That's food, water, nourishment that you need for nourishment. These things are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. They're taking away a lot of grocery stores. They're taking away a lot of food stores. A lot of these places they're taking it away. Then what? They're not bringing them back. Franchises that been here 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, been here. They're what? Taking them. And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation, and that goes into what? Into Jacob's trouble. Let's go over to verse. Let's go over to 2nd Ezra 16. You know what? Let's hear this out, and I'm gonna go in on 2nd Ezra 16.
Not on my watch. Not while there is breath in me will we go back. Is anybody out there with me? Go love your neighbor.
Okay, breaking news. Wake it up, because I don't see enough people talking about this. Trump has lifted the segregation ban, y'all. That means that segregation is now legal. Hello. Segregation ban law has been...
Here we go, y'all. Another Eve. So, hey, let's bag Eve back here. I think I'm going to leave Eve on there. I'm going to leave Eve on there, y'all. You know, y'all watch Eve. Y'all see Eve. Y'all want to hear what Eve got to say. She say, breaking Trump's lifted segregation ban law. Segregation is now legal per Trump. You know, who knows? But I don't think they're doing it trying to start what? Sedition and rioting and things of what? Invading one another. That's all they trying to do, y'all. Because they trying to establish that new world order, y'all. Most people are asleep. They ain't going to see it coming. This is 2nd Ezra 16 verse 18. The beginning of sorrows. Where's the beginning of sorrow? That's going to be what? Jacob's trouble. And Jacob's trouble already here, y'all. It started. Huh? We're in the first half of what? Of Jacob's trouble. Because there are a lot of homeless people, a lot of people losing things. Who that was? USP. What is it? The delivery. They laid out what? 10,000 workers. What is the name? Who laid out 10,000? Let me see, y'all. Let me see if I can get that right quick. What is it? The postals, not postal service. Let me just say something here. Google give it to me. Who laid off 10,000 workers?
According to KMBC, Postmaster General Louis DeJoy plans to cut 10,000 workers and billions of dollars from the U.S. Postal Service budget, and he'll do that working with Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, according to a letter sent to members of Congress on Thursday. Related video above. Elon Musk, Doge shift slashing target.
There it is. U.S. Postal Service budget. 10,000 of them gone. Jobs. So you think this ain't going to start with rioting and hell on earth? Because that's what hell is. Hell is on earth. Hell is not under the ground. And a lot of you are going to find that out real soon. The beginnings of sorrows and great mournings, and the beginnings of famine. What's famine, y'all? And what? And great death. Great death. A lot of people going to be put to death. Right? For what? Because what? They're going to be invading one another, robbing one another, taking lives for what? And some of you are going to be on them grills, going to be ate. There's going to be cannibalism and everything, man, going on. Yes. I know you can't fathom it and think about that it's not going to take place, but these things are going to take place. Because why? Because the prophets have spoken, have given you warning and told you these things before it even happened. Now it's happening right before your face, before your eyes, and now you're doing what? You still, some of you are, most of you are still ignoring the signs of what? Of prophecy that have been what? Been spoken by the prophets. The beginning of sorrows, Jacob's trouble, and great moanings and beginnings of famine and powers, because Esau is losing power, shall what? Shall stand in fear. The beginnings of evils goes into what? Bad times. Isn't that the world in bad times? Is not most of you all in bad times? Can't afford what? To go in the grocery store and have what? 2-3 baskets no more? No, you can't do that no more. Slowly. I know he didn't get out, y'all. He wasn't trying to get out of it. You see, that's how they do. Same way they do the gas. They take it up 50 cents. Leave that for a while, for a minute. Take it up another 75 cents. $2. Leave that for a little while. And they don't bring it back down. They'll bring it down for another 50 cents. But they would. They added $3 on there. What about the other $2.50 on there? Hey, these devils good, y'all. They already know what to do because they've already done these things, right? The beginnings of wars and the what? The powers Esau, Edom, shall stand in fear. The beginnings of evils, meaning bad time. What shall I do when these evils shall come? What you gonna do? You can't do anything, huh? Because these are what? What that is? Amos 3:6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city? Shall the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city? And the Lord your Yahweh has not done it? No, you cannot escape this here because why? Because this is the Lord's movie, man. Huh? The Bible is the truest book that have ever has given us, should I say, that has given us what? Prophecy. No other Bible, I mean no other book that has given prophecy to where, I mean, some of these prophecies was written over 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago. And it had what? It has manifested, just like it manifested our what? Us being back in captivity. Especially the southern tribe of the children of Israel that were taken from the west coast of the shores of Africa. Verse 19 of 2nd Ezra 16 and 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish. Look at them. That's anguish goes into what? Mental suffering. And that's a portion of that mental suffering with what? That these women are going through. Mentally, they losing their minds. Behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish. And what? Are sent as what? As scourges, meaning this is a portion of the beginnings of what? Of you all's punishments. Talking about you Israelites. Those are the beginnings of you all punishment because the heathen gonna get theirs anyway. But with the wicked that had been prospering in what? In Esau's kingdom and riding with them, you are gonna get a special fire. And that fire, which is the second death, about Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. And that amendment is for an improvement of the earth. Because Esau, Edom has what? Has destroyed everything. The water, the food, the animals, you name it. Can't get a decent piece of anything, fruit, anything without plastic, lined with plastic and GMO and all other things. Betterment. Right? Verse 20 of 2nd Ezra 16 and 20. But for these things they shall not turn from their wickedness. Like I was just saying, most of you all are still not going to turn from your wickedness. A lot of you are going to continue the wickedness until Yahweh Shai come here and wouldn't just burn you up, man. But a lot of people gonna Jacob Trouble gonna get a lot of people. Gonna get a lot of them. And Esau gonna roll. Trust me, believe. Esau gonna roll in with them bullets, man. Like no other. But Jake gonna rebel. Jake gonna win in the end. Jake gonna win in the end. But Esau gonna get a whole lot of you. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be away mindful of what? More mindful of their scourges. Indeed, meaning what? Goes into to afflict for the sake of punishment of the wicked. Behold, victuals, foods. For a minute, when you all go start ravaging them stores and taking foods and out of the stores and not knowing that they're gonna be anymore. Behold, victuals, food shall be what? Shall be so good, cheap upon earth that they shall what? Shall think themselves to be in good case. Like we always think we're in good case. And even then, what? Shall evils grow upon earth? It's just going to get worse because why? Those little places that you have ravished the little food that you have is gonna run out. So you're gonna start looking for what? Others to what? To invade. Sword, famine, and great confusion. Hmm? And that famine goes into what? Esau controlling what? The narrative at this present moment. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is still controlling the narrative. The, the banking family, they still control the narrative. They're going to create all these things, but in the end, when they get ready to come down upon the prophets, the true prophets of the Lord, which is the 144,000 of men, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai going to give him his treat. For many of them, verse 22, which is 2nd Ezra 16:22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So, for those of you all that escape Jacob's trouble, the hell that Jacob's trouble going to send you through, you want to escape the fire. Right? So, when I know, I'm going to say, call Allah, Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakah HaKodash, Shalom.